it's very possible that we get some completely insane blow off top. It is possible, right? I think it could be 200,000. That might be it, right? It might be 500,000. Like if it was 200,000, I'd be very happy. We're not in this race to hype to blow off this. Like we're good. We already won. Now with Trump in, we have won.
Yes.
So we have won. Like we're going to win, so, I think it's kind of like, smell the roses, enjoy life, and let's not get bent out of shape because we don't do a 10x.
Bitcoin's potential to reach $200,000 or even $500,000 feels more attainable than ever, especially with Trump back in office. According to Wall Street veteran and mathematician Fred Krueger, Bitcoin bulls are optimistic about a significant price surge that could see Bitcoin hitting new highs. While these projections are exciting, the focus isn't on chasing hype or short-term gains. With Trump in office, many investors are confident that Bitcoin is already on track for long-term success. The current sentiment is to appreciate Bitcoin's progress, stay optimistic, and allow its natural growth to unfold without undue pressure. Stick around until the end of the video as Fred Krueger shares more insights on the future of Bitcoin and the broader market outlook.
Stop. You don't have time. Don't miss out this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself first ahead of the crowd. We have created the ultimate step-by-step crypto cheat guide that will guide you this bull run. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Now by clicking on the link below to get your exclusive copy just under $10.
I think we're getting to the point where you're going to be able to live on that. I think you're going to be, people will treat you like a first-class human being if you've got, if you got a bunch of Bitcoin. I really think we're getting to that point. I just feel like the smart move is to rent a little bit longer. Just resist the temptation. Maybe it's only a year. Maybe it literally might be at 12 months, right?
Yeah.
It might be 12 months, so it's just like this could be the worst timing of your life if you buy that.
Right.
If you buy that house in February, that could be the worst. That could be your Marty Balmy moment. Right?
Yeah. I'm gonna take that advice to heart. Now, I think you've been.
But I am saying you should treat yourself. You're not in grad school. You hodled. You did well. Great. Treat yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Look, example. I just bought a 911 convertible.
Nice.
Top of the line, whatever. But I didn't pay cash for it. I just leased it, right? Doesn't matter. I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, obviously I could pay cash for it, but I'm very, very cognizant now of cash. I don't want my cash. I don't want to spend cash on a big apartment. I have a similar type of thing just for fun. I would like to buy an apartment in Paris.
Nice.
But, that would be $5 million.
Yep.
And, I'm just sort of like, ooh, do I really want to spend $20 million on an apartment in Paris? And I'm thinking Bitcoin will 4X,
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy just waiting and buying it for $1 million. You know what I mean? Effectively. So I would say, look, if you're very young, I'd say I consider under 30 very young, right? I would say one Bitcoin, If you can get to one Bitcoin, that's great, Now that's easier said than done. I mean, I used to be a starving Stanford grad student, eating top ramen and drinking wine from bottles with screw tops, and so 100 grand sounds like a lot of money when you're poor, but I would say one Bitcoin, if you're in your under 30, you got 30 years to retire. One Bitcoin in 30 years will be enough for you to retire, I think. So I think just one Bitcoin is the answer. And, by definition, only 21 million people in this entire planet will ever get to one Bitcoin, and probably a lot less than that, right? So, it may be as little as 5 million people will ever get to one Bitcoin. Right now, you have about 1 million people who are at one Bitcoin. And I think the number, the sort of the max, I would say, is 5. I would say Yeah. So I think if you're in your 40s or something, you don't have that kind of time frame. So I think the number there is more like 10 Bitcoin. Again, you still need to kind of hold on to it for a while, and if you're in your 50s or 60s, I mean, somewhere around 30, 40 Bitcoin, I think, is kind of what you really need. You know what I mean? It's not 10 anymore, right? 10's a little cutting a little close. If you're 50 or 60, I think. And so, even if you're talking about borrowing against whatever, I think those are sort of the ranges, I would say. I just like to think of it in broad amounts. Bitcoin 1 million, Bitcoin 10 million, right?
Yeah.
All right. When are we going to get to Bitcoin 1 million? I would say probably 10 years from now, somewhere between 5 years from now. I mean, there's some people saying this year, right? It's possible, right? But somewhere, I would say, somewhere in the 5 to 10 range, right? I think that's kind of the likelihood for a million. Where are we going to get to 10 million? Probably around 20 years from now, you're going to get to 10 million. It might be 30 years from now, right? So that kind of time range. And that's kind of what the power law tells you, right? So the power law quantifies this stuff very well for you. If you're under 30, you got 30 years. So, you really need to think of it. The one thing you don't want to do is touch that Bitcoin. Like you really want to put that thing in a vault and have it time locked for 30 years almost. And that would almost be the best scenario for you.
Genius Group Limited, an AI-driven education company focused on Bitcoin, has announced plans for a $33 million rights offering to significantly strengthen its Bitcoin treasury. This initiative will allow shareholders to purchase additional shares at 50 cents each, with all net proceeds dedicated to acquiring Bitcoin. Founder and CEO Roger Hamilton is fully committed, planning to add 6.8 million shares to his holdings, demonstrating his strong support for the company's ambitious Bitcoin strategy. This move underscores Genius Group's commitment to Bitcoin and highlights its growing role in shaping the future of global finance. Now, let's return to Fred Krueger as he explores this development further.
So my theory is less on the number that we're going to hit this year, that I think we have a longer runway. So I don't know how much we're going to go up this year. I think it could be 200,000. That might be it, right? It might be 500,000. Like if it was 200,000, I'd be very happy. If it was 500,000, I'd be very happy. It doesn't matter to me, right? I definitely don't think right now that 2026 will be a down year. So I don't think that the mining cycle or anything has anything to do with anything at this point. We are at the tail end of that mining argument, where what the miners did mattered. I don't think it matters anymore. So I think we just have to get rid of this cycles idea. And I understand we've had it. We've had it for the first 3 cycles, really bad. That there was, this was, but I don't think it matters right now. I just don't think it matters. I really don't. So, I think the real question is not how much do we get next year? I think the real question is, how long does it take us to get to 500,000 or a million, and it may take us a couple of years, and that's fine. It's, it's perfect. So my view is, I also kind of view that the Bitcoin strategic reserve, look, it may happen and there may be this, but look, America's kind of broke right now. So I don't see them, kind of spend, and we've got to refinance $7 trillion in treasury bonds this year. So I don't see us really contributing a lot of money to this strategic Bitcoin reserve. Trump's got he got his work cut out for him on many, many different fronts, right? To kind of curb immigration. He's got to clean up this excess government waste. He's got to do a lot of stuff. And I don't think Bitcoin does not need the Bitcoin strategic reserve. You know, we will do fine without it. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Like the only thing I really want or expect him to do is to label the existing Bitcoin that he has as a Bitcoin strategic reserve and stop. That's it. You know, like I think fixing the United States is more important than buying a lot of Bitcoin right now. That's my view. Like, I feel like there's enough problems with the United States. We got into enough problems with the Biden administration and even before, right? We got a broken house, a broken car. Let's fix the car, you know, and let's give Bitcoin a room to run because it's going to run all by itself. It does not need training wheels at this point, you know? And, you know, I just feel like there's so much money that wants to get into that will want to get into Bitcoin that we don't need to come up with like, you know, Middle Eastern buyers or strategic reserve or anything else. I think it's just naturally we're going to have this mass of money want to find itself there. And so, and it will in particular if America is Bitcoin friendly. And all it just needs to do is, well, the most important thing I think is to solve this Operation Choke Point 2.0. You know, like we need to make banks be able to hold Bitcoin. We need to stop criminalizing people like you or me who bought Bitcoin a little earlier, you know, than the average dog. And, you know, we should be part of the financial system. That's it, you know? And so, you know, and we should make it legitimate for businesses to own Bitcoin. We shouldn't penalize them. So we got to end this kind of crusade by the FDIC and Elizabeth Warren and everybody else on Bitcoin, right? That's the most important thing. Like, let's end the crusade on Bitcoin against Bitcoin and Bitcoiners, right? Let's stop that. And yeah, if you want to, if we can buy some more Bitcoin, great. We don't need to do it right now. I don't think that's needed. There's so much money out there that it will just naturally come it'll raise the price naturally. And so, and I also, in a way, I don't want to blow off top either. You know, I actually don't want one, you know,
okay,
because blow off tops usually are followed by nuclear winters, you know, and I don't know, like, I don't want another 2022 or 2018. You know, I'd rather have just a mild, you know, correction like we had when the Germans sold their Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You know, down 30%, whatever. Okay. Like, you know, we just don't need massive people going completely berserk on 100x options and everything else. We don't need that. That's not good, right? Yeah. And companies going bankrupt and Sam Bankman-Fried's and all the rest. We really don't need that. Like, the best case forward would be, you know, if we double this next year, we doubled again in 2026. Like, how great would that be? You know,
that would be phenomenal. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
And everybody be a little bit upset. Like, oh, we only went up to 200K. We did a Bitcoin reserve, but we didn't put much in it. And fine, absolutely fine. I'm the happiest guy in the, you know. So I just, you know, I'm just not. I feel like we need to kind of stop the like the hype of like the Dennis Porter kind of stuff, you know, like, you know, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is signing this, and then, you know, Ohio is going to do this. Like, guys, like, it doesn't matter. Like, we're not in this race to hype to blow off this. Like, we're good. We already won. Now with Trump in, we have won.
Yes.
So we have won. Like, we're going to win. You know, so, you know, I think it's kind of like, you know, smell the roses, enjoy life, and let's not get bent out of shape because we don't do a 10x.
The future of Bitcoin doesn't rely on overhyped surges or rushed policies. Instead, a steady and sustainable rise driven by organic adoption and supportive regulation is key to ensuring long-term success. Fred Krueger emphasizes that while ambitious price predictions of $200,000 or $500,000 are exciting, the focus should be on building a stable and legitimate financial ecosystem for Bitcoin, rather than chasing quick gains. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.